Hello everyone and welcome back to MDG Media's coverage of the 2025 Turku Open. We have final round front 9 MPO lead card action for you. It's been an amazing event. It's been an amazing season. And I'm Andrew Gum alongside Elias Luukkonen. Super happy to be with you in the booth for this final round for the Disc Golf Pro Tour Elite Series in Europe. It's been an incredible swing through Europe this year.
Yeah, for sure. And it's so cool to have all of the great American players here. And we have, pretty much all the best players in the world. Maybe this event lacking a few. Gannon Burr, the world champion, not here, but pretty much everybody else staying for this.
Yeah, a lot of people hanging around. And we have Lauri Lehtinen shooting an incredibly hot round 12 down yesterday from Jyväskylä. Tons of talent. Who else we got?
Yeah, Aaron Gossage just punishes the disc both backhand and forehand, throws super hard and loves that flat to hyzer angle. Some overstable discs really helps on this course, to be honest.
Yeah, from Grand Junction, Colorado, we have another Finn on the card, Daniel Davidsson. He's sponsored by Lucky Discs, and yeah, pretty incredibly talented player, very exciting. He's still looking for his first Disc Golf Pro Tour Elite victory, as is Lauri Lehtinen.
And Ezra Robinson, one of the touchier backhand players, has great control. Really wide reach back. I really like his form. Looks quite accurate on a lot of wooden fairways. Not a wooded fairway here on hole number 1 though. 202 meters. Big par 4 off the tee. You're trying to throw a big hyzer. Hopefully land somewhere between the stakes. It's a wide fairway. Not really expecting anybody to miss this one. As far as off the tee, really the danger comes in on the second shot. Plays really nicely for a forehand. You're flying over the fairway at the end of the flight, but the backhand being a more comfortable shot for a lot of players. You can see how close that OB is on the right and long side. Really have to test that OB if you want to park it backhand or forehand.
Get started with some chase card coverage here. Calvin Heimberg, not too far back. We actually have quite a lot of players that are still in the mix here. We have that lead card at 19 down. We got players, all the way down on the 3rd and 4th card that are still within reach. Pretty packed field. As you said, yeah. Some players headed back, some are over for that World Games in China, which is really exciting for the sport. And Calvin off to a pretty good start. He's going to have a birdie putt from right there, circle's edge. Going through his routine.
Yeah, definitely a big disadvantage being on the chase card, but doesn't bother him. Takes the birdie on hole number 1, and what I mean by disadvantage is that you don't have that live view of what the lead card is doing, so you have to play in advance. Put a lot of pressure on them.
There we see our lead card. Very windy day here in LUOLAVUORI.
Welcome to DGPT Turku Open 2025, sponsored by Prodigy Discs. This is your final day lead card, 4:30 p.m. tee time. First on the tee with the score of 19 under par, representing latitude 64 from Finland, Lauri Lehtinen.
Big ovation from the crowd for the Finn. Everybody likes Lauri. I was going to say it's, quite a windy place here at Cave Mountain as it translates. And it's a really nice course.
A lot of overstability on that disc for Lauri. No problem with the wind. Big applause.
Next on the tee with the score of 19 under par, representing Discraft from the United States, Aaron Gossage.
Shout out to Jani Puumalainen, the announcer, creating really good hype in this crowd. Might have seen him as the caddy of Niklas in the World Championships just 1 week back. As Aaron Gossage very wide and gets back in bounds. That's the perfect landing spot. Really short approach from there.
Yeah, he's also a member of the Ukosrinki. Nice Finnish media group.
Representing Lucky Discs from Finland, Daniel Davidsson.
Great to have Daniel on lead card coverage, final round. Big moment for him, big opportunity. Super talented, smashes discs, and he's very creative. I really like to watch him play.
One of the better backhand throws for sure, and has that, not the longest, but actually a really accurate forehand as well. He's definitely a well-rounded player.
And fourth on the team, with a score of 18 under par, representing Discraft from the United States, Ezra Robinson.
Very exciting player. Got a big win to start out the year over there in Florida. Looking for his first international win. He played this tournament a couple years ago. I remember back in the European Pro Tour Disc Golf Stream days. Shot an incredibly hot round.
Our Finnish viewers would understand the instructions given to the ground. Shout out the organizers. Very clear on the crowd control. That's what you like to see.
Yeah, they know how to run a great event here at the elite level for sure. A great shot there from Daniel. Sticks it on the mound green. It's hard to do.
Yeah, pretty scary hitting the top of the green. You usually like to hit the front. As Ezra leaves it a little bit short. That's really the safe play. You don't mind that. I mean, you don't mind that until you walk up to the putt and you realize you have an edge of the circle putt directly towards OB, which is pretty scary.
Lauri going with the forehand approach, which, shapes up pretty good to stay in bounds most of the way. Checks up nicely after hitting on that mound as well. There's like a little bit of a hole there that can kind of keep people from rolling OB if they do go on the mound, which is nice. It seemed to help Lauri in that case.
Yeah, I think the forehand approach, I think it should be the preferred play. Definitely Aaron Gossage, a player that prefers that forehand from what he had, maybe 75, 80 meters out. I mean, the approach on this hole, it's really short. It's surprisingly short. You always walk up on this fairway and you're surprised. And this, important to keep it on the line.
Oh, great putt there in the wind. I guess the flag's not really moving there. It's kind of gusty wind, I guess. It's warm, a nice day, pretty low humidity. Oh, splash.
Damn, that's
Spit
a
through,
50-50. I don't know.
A little bit left, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, he was left, but with a deep Prodigy cage, I feel like those usually stick.
Heavy chains for sure. Unfortunate result. Good start there for Lauri.
Yeah, really, honestly, the one stroke for Ezra Robinson, he's going to be 2 back now compared to 1 back. But I think the biggest difference is going to be momentum. It's you just, when you're in that chasing position, you want all of the momentum coming from the beginning. And it's really important that you start off hot, put a lot of pressure on the leaders, which all of them birdied this hole. That's what you'd expect, but under this pressure, not something you can take for granted as a player.
Yeah, averaging 4.06, so 6th most difficult. Good to get started off with the birdie. Moving on to hole 2, par 4, uphill, 200 meters. Sharp turning right to left here about halfway. And then a lot of trees to beat, a tight tunnel, especially towards the green. Pretty demanding hole, actually, overall, I would say. Averaging 4.23, second hardest on the course today, which doesn't surprise me at all. It's that's the FPO we see on the left, but the MPO is back here deep in the woods, and that's, quite uphill as well. A little bit elevated basket too, just to boot. Tricky one. What do you think of this hole?
Yeah, it's all about the drive. I feel like that's gonna be the case. Besides hole 1, on literally every par 4 on this course, it's all about the drive. If you can't put your drive in a great position, you really don't have a chance at birdie. And Lauri, terrible break. That is so unlucky.
That is incredibly unlucky. That's tree hate. That is just like what looked like a perfect drive hits the right side of that tree and kicks OB. Really tough break. Punishing.
Gossage, good position. He's going to be a little bit left. There's one birch tree directly in the line of throw from there. Daniel, a good hyzer thrower. I like the angle here. Looks to be pushing a bit far, though. Needs to slow down.
He's got tons of power. Gets way up the fairway. Would you call that the sweet spot?
I'd call that the sweetest of spots.
Some call Ezra the Peach Pirate. I'm not sure if he approves of that nickname. From Georgia, the Peach State. And I don't know where that comes from, but maybe it's the scruffy beard. I think he's looking good.
Yeah, he looks like a character. I like it. A lot of features on his outfit.
Yeah. Huge gallery. I mean, well, okay, it's hard to use the word huge after the World Championships, but we have over 1,000 people in attendance here for the MPO final round. Pretty impressive. Turku is quite a great disc golf city and community. It's in the urban area, so a lot of people coming out to watch high-quality disc golf and support these players. And, yeah, the good weather helps.
Yeah, I mean, some people call Turku the disc golf city, as Lauri. And that's going to be maybe not OB.
It's not OB.
Yeah, not OB, but in a pretty terrible spot. He's going to be throwing 4 from a position where you really can't get up and down. So almost best case scenario is going to be a double bogey.
That's, yeah, super unfortunate. After throwing a good tee shot, okay, he made a mistake there on the third with the OB penalty, hitting that tree, maybe trying to get a little aggressive and get all the way up to the pin to save the par. That's an awful throw. Cut rolls OB left. I don't know what happened there. Being in the sweetest spot, as you said, just a missed release.
Yeah, I mean, we can only make some hypothesis on what happened in that shot, but I think he was trying to go for an air shot, definitely not a roller spot from there.
Yeah.
Just missed the height really bad.
I think it just came out wrong. Maybe some lead card nerves or a little jitters or just I don't know what to attribute it to. I mean, the conditions are good.
Yeah, I mean, Lauri and Daniel both being experienced, but maybe not experienced being on the lead card of these big Elite Series events. And that's going to be too much Anhars as well. Similar thing as the last shot.
Not a good hole for the Finns. Tough going here on 2.
Not really a good hole for anybody, it seems, on the card. It's
struggling.
I mean, you mentioned the second hardest hole on the course as this hole number 2, and it's definitely one of those holes that you can double bogey. There were 10 double bogeys or worse on this hole today.
Oh, and we're going to see some on this lead card. Or at least one. I mean, Lauri still has a chance to save the bogey. But that's going to be a double at best now.
Yeah,
Daniel.
Such a chaotic play. And that was on a good line, just lacking the height. Very chaotically played hole. I mean, if you had to teach how to play this hole, you probably wouldn't take this as part of your training program. And a missed putt there as well. I mean, this is crazy.
Okay, it's struggling here for the lead card. And as I said, there's a lot of players within reach, on chase, 3rd and 4th card even. So if somebody can get hot, it's going to be interesting. I hope we don't, there's plenty of time for the lead card to get it going, but we're witnessing some struggles here on hole 2 at least.
Yeah, this is not the right way to get hot to get that positive number on the scorecard.
Collectively 5 over for the lead card.
Wow, that's one of that might be the worst hole we have seen throughout the entire tournament. 5 over for the lead card. As we're moving on to a hole where they are not going to go 5 over no matter what. I would bet my house, my entire net worth on it. Hole number 3, just 82 meters. Plays really nicely for a small turnover with a putter. You can just jam it into the ground 10 meters before the basket slide up there. Also nice for that low straight forehand, but the forehand tends to skip towards the OB right. Definitely a touchy shot either way.
Yeah, a lot of OB. You got that Mando on the right, downhill, low ceiling. Here's that forehand. It's a rock on the fairway, but it still gets some forward progress, and he's going to be up there just inside the circle. Good result. It was a little bit low. I mean, I guess you can usually count on some ground play, but there are a few rocks and sticks or roots or something. Yeah, there's a stick right there that slowed him down a little bit.
Yeah, good shot though. Good shape. I mean, it did look wide off the hand, but really like the height. Both of those first 2 shots, perfect with the height. And Lauri, similar thing, just needs to finish now.
Finishes on that tree and kicks a little bit left. He's about 22 meters from the basket with a low ceiling. And he's just kind of in disbelief. You know, he feels like he's not really doing too much wrong, but just not going his way yet today, so.
There you go. There's a perfect shot. Did I mention the accurate forehand of Daniel? I think this is just the perfect hole for him with that slow, slightly overstable approach disc.
Yeah, really nice little soft flex with that slow disc. Got it to land right by the basket. Lauri just has to pitch up with that tree on, on the low ceiling there. Gossage to take stroke. Oh.
Not looking the sharpest for the lead card. Ezra there. Good birdie.
Yep.
Getting back to even par. These guys are really giving a chance to the chase card right now. As you mentioned, chase card being just a couple strokes back of these guys. So definitely, I mean, holes 1 and 3, I'd say they are pretty easy to birdie. Maybe hole 2 is a harder one, but you definitely like to be 1 or 2 under at this point.
Yeah, chase guard action here from Calvin Heimberg. Major winner from Estonia. Crushing it up the fairway. That's what you want to do. Do a pretty good spot. Pretty tough par 4 being so uphill. But if you got the power, it's definitely a birdie hole. And there you see it. Right on the circle's edge. It's kind of a windy spot of the course as we ascend up towards the top, towards the high point on 6. Gets it done.
Yep, solid on the stripe. Showing off the big advantage of throwing a far drive, actually being able to throw just a fairway on the second. So that's what all of these guys would like to do. Of course, maybe lacking some of the power of Calvin Heimberg, but they shot looking solid. More of a humanly distance off the tee, though. And humanly being humanly for a pro player, not
Sure.
your average disc golfer.
I expect Daniel to get way up there with his power. Puts it on hyzer. Doesn't get much ground play, but it's way up there. In a pretty good spot. There's like that one bush that seems to kind of, you have to make a decision. Usually you go right side of it. But if you finish left, you can also go, on the left side of it.
Wow, this is smoked as well. Super high, though. So finishing more left. I think Gossage has been going for that big forehand on the second, so he doesn't mind being on the left side of that bush.
Yeah.
But I'd say for the backhand players, the right side of the bush hyzer shot is definitely the easiest. If you start playing some sort of turnover with the hillside and with the headwind, it's actually becoming pretty tricky. Seppo Paju sighting there.
Yeah.
Owner of the course, person who is, pretty much the main motivation for running the tournament here. Wants to have welds in Turku in some amount of time in the future.
I think they deserve it. Some great courses in the area, really good organizing committee, great clubs. It's, brilliant disc golf city, as you said earlier. Oh, Lauri with a bad slip there.
Does he hold on? No.
No.
OB left. That's rough.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but his foot went completely out from under him. There was a whole bunch of these little ants with wings on the fairway, like they had just like hatched or something. It was crazy. I don't know if he stepped on a patch of them or what happened, but could have also just been but the grass is pretty dry at this point.
Yeah, maybe it was the ants. Maybe he stepped on a wing or...
No, honestly, there was
whatever.
like thousands of them grouped together in spots where it could certainly slip out from under your feet. It sounds crazy, but it's true.
Does sound pretty crazy. I think he just maybe found a bad spot on the ground.
I'm sticking with the ant wing, the winged ant conspiracy theory. But
sure. Let's see if Daniel can stick this. No, OB left as well. Maybe he skipped off an ant wing. Never know. All of weird action. I mean,
it's crazy stuff happening out here.
You think the Finns would be the ones most familiar with the Finnish nature, but doesn't look like it's the case. They're both gonna be in danger of. I mean, Lauri is definitely bogeying from there. Daniel has a par putt still.
Yeah, he went OB up there on the green. At least he can save it if he's able to hit a big putt. That's off the mark from Goose. Looked like a run, but yeah, maybe it didn't get the reaction from the wind he was thinking it would. Either way, it was a safe kind of soft bid. Nice putt there from Daniel. He needed that.
I love that release. Tailwind, you could see the tailwind being from his back and putting that disc just above the basket, letting it drop. Great read. Something you have to do a lot on this course. It's so windy so often. And Ezra Robinson, there he goes. Bad start, starting off with that par bogey stretch, but already 1 under.
Yeah. Not the kind of start our lead card wanted, though. Like, let's be fair. I was expecting someone to shred. Still possible. I mean, plenty of holes to play, plenty of time to get going, get on the right track.
I guess that's the advantage of being on the lead card, is that you actually can afford to have a slow start and still have a chance to be even leading the tournament. So we're moving on to a wooded hole for once. Hole number 5, 101 meters. Really quite a tight gap off the tee. Most players are not going through where the drone is flying, but rather a low pushing hyzer shot. You can even throw a distance drive if you want to, but most people going for nice, slightly overstable fairway. Just hit it low on some hyzer and really pushing forward. Ideally take a bit of a skip at the very end. Let's see if Calvin can do that with his overstable fairway.
Yep. I think that right side hyzer's the main gap. Here he is for his 3rd birdie of the round.
What a surprise. We're showing a hole where Calvin takes the birdie and doesn't take a par.
So that's going to put him at 19 down, which is same score as Ezra right now. They're tied for 4th. Ezra taking that right side gap. Doesn't get the ground play he was hoping for, though. Died out. C2.
See, that's why I think on this hole, you probably want to go with something slightly more overstable, actually get more ground play at the end. Even though it feels weird, the grass is pretty sticky. And I know sticky grass can be interesting even from the gallery. I think I even might have seen yourself in there checking the situation on the green.
Yeah, that's a pretty good viewpoint behind the basket there. Double duty this weekend with the DGN on-course commentary. Oh, last Guardian tree to beat. Trips him up. Still an opportunity for a huge highlight putt, but pretty unlikely from that range with the gusty wind. Not going to count him out, though. He's a pretty fierce competitor.
Lauri too far to the right. That's the problem for both of the Finns, Daniel and Lauri. Just pushing it. It's a very precise line. I feel like this is even one of those holes which you see a lot of birdies across the field and maybe not even so many more birdies at the very top of the field. It's just such a specific line. Hard to hit consistently as Lauri. Having the scramble, but a great shot.
Does well to get up and down there. 2.86 average, so 11th most difficult. 32% birdies and not too many bogeys or worse, but it's possible.
Yeah, I think overall this is not the most difficult course. I mean, even as an average competitor, you're not happy if you don't get, a few strokes under par. And these guys definitely aiming close to that double digits. Ezra Pulls it right.
Yeah. Seems kind of puzzled with the wind. Checks it after, but you can see those flags are swirling. It's kind of hard to get a good read up here near the high point of the course. It's pretty gusty and swirly. How did the winds on this final day compare to the practice days? Oh, splash out, right. Because like early week it was really windy as well, right?
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, this round in specific was definitely less windy than some of the practice days. Some of the practice days, I think it was maybe Thursday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Both of them extremely windy. And today, while the wind is strong and present, it's not near that. It's maybe 60-70% of what we had in practice. So these players should be adjusted to the wind. And even, I mean, on this next hole, hole number 6, wind being one of the biggest factors, it's pretty much always a right to left wind. Sometimes more of a tail, sometimes more of a direct right to left. But really, if you throw that wide hyzer, which most players do, have to put it extremely wide. Or if you want to play under the wind, throw it a bit flatter and lower. So ideally, to park the hole, you want to get just around the last pushes on the right, but also playing it a little safe, hyzering in front of them and taking a small skip to around 10 meters. Gonna be just a fine play.
Yeah, very scenic spot here. High point of the course. You got a panoramic view of Turku city. And I think the wind was quite helping for that wide line to go around the trees today. It was pushing pretty heavy right to left, so I think it can help carry and push them if you swing it wide. And Calvin going on the inside line, though, and getting a brilliant result. Nice little roll to about 6 meters.
I love the height. I love the fact that he kept it slightly under the wind, not going just full blown, exposing the flight plate. Very overstable disc too, and that's going to be a good start. 4 through 6.
That's great, putting pressure on this lead card. He came in at the top of the chase.
This one just either too early or too late. I think he was trying to fade in front of those trees. So definitely a shooter's choice. I'd say for the most of the field, it's a good play just to try and hit those trees on the short right of the basket. But for the best players out there, I mean, you have to pick a side. You're trying to birdie this hole. You know, a lot of players, just like Calvin did a moment ago, are trying to birdie this hole. So you have to do the same. And Aaron Gossage just barely getting around in the circle. Pretty good result on this hole, which plays just at par. 2.99 average. Very middling difficulty. I'd say a lot of, stats agree, a lot of pars on this one. It's pretty easy to get it in bounds, but pretty hard to park the hole.
Ezra even through 5. Not really what you want when you're playing for the win. Calvin came in just 3 strokes behind the leaders, so he's already gained, a lot of ground on most of these lead card players. Oh, what a putt. Monster connection there. Ezra from way deep. About 16, 17 meters. Definitely deserves a slow-mo with a funky groove.
Yeah, that's huge. Just on the last hole, missing a really short one. Now making one from 4 times the distance. That's pretty insane, actually.
Yeah, he really needed that. Jumpstart things. Lauri could use it too. And he gets it. There you hear that crowd rooting for him. That's a big putt, about 14 meters at least. Made it look pretty easy, both those guys in the wind.
Yep, and downhill just barely low.
Oh, a little roll away as well.
Yeah.
The headwind tester maybe.
Can happen on this hole. I feel like this course in particular, it doesn't really have a lot of scary greens. Some greens have this little slope, but really not that many with a big drop off. Maybe a couple of greens that come to mind with a significant slope. This one not being one of them. Aaron Gossage here, for birdie. There he goes. Clean scorecard through 6 holes, 2 under. Not a hot pace, but definitely one that keeps him in it.
Comebacker for Daniel. No doubt about it. Perfect putt. I think it's worth mentioning Niklas Antila shot 13 down today. He had a really rough first couple of days, but yeah, he shredded it up. Yeah, actually birdied out on the back 9 every single hole. That's the Lionheart champion move right there. You know, he had a tough couple days, came back strong. Moving on to hole 7, par 4, 210 meters, downhill, OB lining all on the left side, bunch of trees on the right, mostly willows. There is OB on the right side as well, but it doesn't come into play so often because those trees are so catchy. Here's the gap. It's a late gap, left to right, shaped, and basket there with some OB around it and this little tiny bush that's inside the circle, so it doesn't really cause too many problems. But yeah, you really want to line yourself up with the gap on this one if you can. There's quite a few ways to attack this hole. Goose up first with the forehand. He's got that power forehand that'll shape up pretty nice. You know, it'll put you all the way down there and, you know, through the gap if you get it just right. This looks like it's pretty good. Maybe fading a little early.
I mean, a little early.
Not bad.
Gonna be fine, yeah. I mean, if he had gotten through those trees, he would have had a 50-meter approach. So definitely a huge forehand advantage here. And playing with the wind, you're gonna have a right to left tailwind. So if you get that disc flat, even with a slight turn, with a nice stable disc, nice glidey stable disc, it's just gonna go down there. And Lauri, that's
way early. Pinched
yeah,
off, yeah.
That's a problem. I mean, he does have gaps from there. You can get up and down, but it's too short to be comfortable.
Yeah, it's not what you want. You really want to line yourself up with the main gap. Of course, there are ways to, you know, sneak attack on the inside line, but not the highest percentage play. And that's way short. I felt like he was like aiming high, but somehow let go really low. And I like this play if you got it, the kind of roller. I mean, I think it maybe turned a little quick right. You want it to stand up straight for a little bit longer. Yeah, he's going to be kind of pinched off on the right side in those trees, but I love the idea. You know, when it's like a downhill, if you got a nice roller, then you can get it to kind of like almost like go all the way through that gap, maybe even move down towards the pin, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I think the forehand or the roller are definitely the best play. Ezra struggling. Another hole where he's not really finding his groove. Very up and down round so far.
Doesn't really appear to be his day. Making quite a lot of mistakes. Unforced errors too, for the most part, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is not a difficult hole for this level of players. Lauri, great scramble. Super good forehand. I mean, this hole averaging well under par and 46% birdies.
Wow.
Such a high rate. You know you're losing to most of the best players here with that par.
Good third shot anyway. Salvage the par at least. You really can't afford to have more bogeys, you know, with these killers on the chase card and plenty of good players on the lead as well.
Sneaky route downhill there. Once again going with that touchy forehand of his. And talking about touchy forehands, this is going to be a touchy forehand from Aaron Gossage.
Wide open, so he did get through all those trees.
Yeah, that's cool. Just 65 meters left, and this is this is a huge shank to the right, and
no.
that's gonna be OB. A big mistake from the perfect drive. I mean, he could have thrown any disc in his bag 100 times over and never found the OB.
That was a routine upshot. Yeah, what do you attribute that to?
I don't know. I think it's the downhill. He tried to go with an overstable approach disc, and it's just such a short distance that it's really hard to make an overstable. A glideless disc to go straight. Throw it so low.
So it just faded too quick and got away from him a little bit. Great putt there from Daniel. Crowd loves it.
Yeah, good one there.
He's back on the birdie train after a string of pars. Just that one major hiccup on 2. Otherwise, he'd be, having a pretty good day.
Lauri as well. I mean, look at the situation on the card. Aaron Gossage being the leader on the card, even tied first in the tournament before this hole. But now Daniel gonna be tied. Lauri just one back of him. Ezra one back of him. Everybody is just right there within one.
This is crazy.
To still go back to the analysis about Gossage's approach, I think that's the one spot where his game really could use a nice little touchy backhand putter. Just to control that angle, land it flat. Don't have to play with the overstable fade so much.
Yeah, moving on. Hole 8, 88 meters, 289 feet, par 3. Another low ceiling, another pretty tight gap. Another subtle turn from left to right, but the straight shot will get it done too if you want to just have a look, like a inside circle look. You don't really have to make that turn. It kind of baits you into thinking you want to do that, but that's like just excellent hole design. That'll get you caught up in that tree on the right, or some other types of trouble. This has been changed from last year. It used to be more of a left to right shape. Now the straight shot will get it done. It was an elevated basket as well before. That's what I'm talking about from Calvin. You think you need to turn it, catch those guardian trees on the right on the inside line. Really nice hole design here.
A pretty good break to get all the way here for the birdie, and look at that.
Yeah.
Once again, imagine we just showed this hole and he would throw it into the trees and miss his putt and just get a par. Maybe we should do that sometimes.
Just to throw off the viewers. So far, every time has been a birdie.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't seen the coverage, but I think probably something significant happening if we're showing it as Lauri. Perfect forehand. That's the way you want to put it. I mean, the forehand is the better shot. Even though the backhand works, just a low forehand. If you have that shot, just throw it every time. It's easy if you have it. And the distance is just perfect for that 4-speed approach disc.
So smooth from Lauri. He made that look really easy, just effortless swing. Oh, Daniel. Ace hunting there. Had the height. Came up just a little short. Scaring the chains a little bit, though. And it stays pretty close. Hits those rocks, so it didn't really skip or roll too much. I think he's good for that birdie comebacker. That's in the circle.
Yeah, good backhand, definitely. I'd say the Robinson brothers. Either of them, I would take them almost over anybody with a backhand on this hole.
Or any hole, really. Incredibly talented bros. That's looking great. Forehand coming in with the slow disc. Checks up nice, 5 meters. It's a great way to play the hole if you got it,
Yep, easy work by the lead card. Nobody really even challenging the branches.
We could definitely use a star frame. Things aren't really going this lead card's way. Not how they were expecting it. We've seen some really hot rounds. 13 is the course record. We've seen it by 3 different players now. 12 down yesterday from Lauri. So, plenty of hot scores to be had. But at the moment, they're way off the pace of that. See if we can complete that star frame.
Yeah, talking about the hot round, I mean, Niklas was playing so early that he was actually finished by the time these guys started their rounds. So they know that, I mean, it doesn't really change their play as Niklas wasn't in it for the lead.
Yeah.
But just seeing that somebody has gone 13 under in the day, it might even create some sort of a confidence that it can be done. The weather is all right, even though it's a little bit windy to go for such a low score.
Yeah, it definitely kind of shows what's possible, even if it's windy. I feel like it was even windier yesterday, but maybe by the time the MPO lead card was out, it started to die down a little bit. Sometimes in the evenings, it'll, as it warms up in the day, summertime, in this part of the world, the winds pick up usually, typically, on like a average day, and they die off a little bit as the temperature drops in the evening.
There you go, star frame complete. No chain ringing, I would expect on this card, and that's, exactly the case.
Yeah, turkey for Lauri.
Yep, it's too easy for these guys, and hole number 9 here. par 4, short par 4, just 157 meters. You might think 157 meters sounds reachable. It could be almost reachable with the perfect roller, so we'll have to see how aggressive these guys are feeling. No, Daniel likes that roller line. Maybe the rest of the three guys might just go for a straight shot off this tee. Plays really nicely for a hard thrown straight fairway driver, just get out of the gap. Really the perfect shot, even with an air shot with a fairway driver, gets you within 60 meters of the basket. It's an easy hyzer on the second. Once again, on a par 4 on this course, all about the drive. Perfect drive gives you almost a guaranteed birdie.
Yeah, third easiest, 3.54 average. Exactly 50% of the field getting the birdie today. Let's see if our lead card can be a few of those at least. That's a little bit short and slightly pinched right. Not the longest hole though, as you said, so still an opportunity if he can do a really good second shot. Here's that roller you're talking about. I like it a lot.
Yeah, lovely angle. So much speed as well, and look at that.
Way up there. That's almost a guaranteed birdie from there. You can even think about trying to get it in there for eagle, but
yeah, I mean the way that the trees are set up around the basket, you can kind of run it from certain angles, and if you miss, you're gonna hit a tree. If you go in, cool, you might even bank it.
it's worth a chance, right? Or worth a try. I mean,
Yeah, I mean if you feel comfortable with a maybe 5-meter Comberger, that's gonna be fine.
that was a good air shot there from Ezra way up there. Goose takes these long run-ups, even when the tee's like a step-up thing. He's got really good kind of body control. He likes to get a lot of power behind it with the speedy run-up.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I kinda hate that shot though, as it was early left. Now he's gonna have to go for this tight forehand. Let's see if he goes high or low. If he goes low, has to throw as inside as possible with a lot of hyzer. And that's good, but it just needs a big skip to get all the way
No,
there.
he gets it. Real big skip. He's got that tree in his way. He's inside the circle, but that's going to be a very tough birdie putt. Lauri, standstill forehand with his trusty Pioneer.
Okay, right. Needs to skip.
Mm,
And yeah, gonna be safe.
outside circle. It's lined up for it at least. I think he can give that a pretty good go. That he's got the gap.
Yeah, I can tell you from experience, the basket actually looks huge from that angle. So, I mean, the way that the light hits the basket and it being kind of in the middle of the shadows and two trees on both sides, I feel like you almost can't miss it if you go for it.
Now Daniel just jump putt approach, not getting aggressive, but just securing that easy birdie. So did you hit a big putt from here?
I did hit a big putt, it didn't stay in the basket, but let's see if
Oh.
Lauri does
Sorry to hear that.
half of the same, but stays in no, but definitely hitting it on the line. You can see how nice the basket is looking. I mean, I feel like with pro players, it does actually, sometimes it just feels like they're gonna hit it. And that was definitely one of those times.
I feel like he needed it. I mean, I guess like, whoa, what a nasty putt.
Nose up spinner, Anheuser from the chin.
That's impressive. Props for that. I was going to say, I felt like Lauri needed that, but then when you look at the scores, I mean, they're all right together. I guess anything can happen. We're only just about halfway through this. After this tap in from Lauri for the par, we will be halfway through this round. And really, anybody's ball game still.
Yeah, I mean, with these guys not shooting the hardest, the front nines, even people from the chase. We saw some clips from Calvin, he's definitely in it. All four of these guys, maybe another name that we just haven't seen on camera.
Pretty sure Isaac Robinson is out there shredding. He is actually in the lead right now, 9 down through 13. Calvin in second, well, tied for second with a couple of our lead card folks here. But look at how many players are still in contention. I mean, even if you go all the way down to, like, say, Hjalte potentially with 18, that's only 4 strokes. Okay, he's a little further ahead. Pretty exciting action here on the final day of the Turku Open. What do you make of it?
Man, it's crazy. If I was a betting man, which I'm not, I wouldn't bet on anybody. And if I had to, bro, I don't know what I would have to say. It's so exciting to watch this sort of round where you have many possible outcomes, and honestly, I'm rooting for my Finnish guys. Need that Finnish Elite Series winner.
Yeah, well, it's been a ton of fun in the booth here with you. It's great to have you all along, and we really appreciate all the support. Can't wait to see what happens there on the back nine. See you there.